So I want to tell you real quick about this Carol story. So this was a couple weeks ago. We were really going to pull the plug. The pain was just beyond. I did everything that the ENTs and all the doctors said to do for this temporal lobe eustachian head crushing pain. And I did another retreat, and I practiced Qigong all day, and there was nothing I could do. Tiffany was going to be moving to Hawaii. You know, through this digestion problem alone, I've got to go have colonics. And I was talking to people that had gastroparesis and they couldn't digest their food with a lot of conditions, not just neurological conditions. And I was taking tons of smooth move, doing everything I can. And this is kind of sounds like it's personal, but this is a real medical issue. And I solved it. An answer came through a medical medium, and I drink a glass of celery juice every day, and I don't have any problems. So, but I still have, I still see a colon hygienist, and because with any brain disease, there's a brain-gut connection. So if your colon's really healthy and clean, and I still have a lot of problems with mine anyway. I've had ulcerative colitis since I was young, and my digestion had always been a little bit compromised, but it's much better than it was. And so I went to go see her. I hadn't felt like I could even leave the house for a couple of weeks after the last retreat. The pain was so bad, and I practiced, and I couldn't find a place anytime that the pain would get better. In the last year, it went, it was at about a 20, and it would go to like every 5, 6 days, 7 days. I would get treated to a foot reflexology appointment, and they'd do a lot of deep rubbing in my neck, and it would take some of the pain away for about 4 hours. But the wave would come in, and it would get worse, and it got worse and worse and worse. And I have a high threshold to pain. I always have. And so for me to say that I can't tolerate it, it was a heavy conversation with my daughter. We both cried, and we don't cry that often. And, we just decided that it was time. And I went to go have this colonic, and the lady said, "How are you doing?" And I said, "Well, it's kind of hard right now. My daughter's moving to Hawaii, which is so great with my grandbaby. They're just packing a couple suitcases, getting rid of all their shit and going, and I'm so happy for them. They're following their bliss, and that just makes me so happy that they're not too worried about me, and they'll go." But it was still emotional to have your only family. Well, I have my dad. I have other family, but they don't rock up, and that's just fine. There's no family support, I should say that. And so that piece was a hard one to swallow, and I've learned, I don't need to not say anything when I hurt. I rarely go into self-pity and feel sorry for myself. And this was a real voice. 98% of me was super happy that they were leaving, but there was this 1 or 2% that was just in my throat, and I had to talk about it. And so I talked to her about it, and I started crying, and she goes, "How's that eustachian and temporal lobe?" And I said, "It's horrible. I can't even stand it. I just can't find any place, any happy spot." And so she pulled out this old chart. It's an old colon chart that she had in her closet, and there's 2 places in my colonic where I swell up. And she said that I'm the only person that she can actually see where my organs are because I have no body fat on my stomach. And I'm not bragging, but I did a lot of Pilates, and I don't have any body fat on my stomach. So she said there's usually a padding, and she can't tell. But on this chart, where I swelled up, where it would block up on my colon, it was actually, I can't do 2 things at once. I'm trying to pull up pictures for you. It was where the eustachian is. So she put the charts away, and I said, "Wait a minute, pull that back out, because there's a blockage on the other side. Let's see what that says." And lo and behold, on the other side, it showed a blockage where it says cerebral spinal disturbances. So I don't know if you can see this, but this is a right here. It says eustachian tubes, and that's in the cecum, and that's one side where I showed a blockage. And then on this side of the descending colon, it says cerebral, spinal, let me see if I can get my finger in here somehow, disturbances. And so then she put it away. She put the chart away, and we were blown away. And I go, pull it back out. And down below, there's this thing that says, note, biochemical cell salts. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I don't know what they are, and I didn't feel good enough for the next couple of weeks to even check it out. But I got the message from all my energy hands that support me. You know, call Carol. Carol's a good friend of mine, and I'm going to tell you that story maybe if there's enough time. I told her to pull that chart back out, and there were all these weird Latin names. All these weird Latin names, and those go with the numbers all around here. So I contacted my girlfriend, Freddie, who's head charge nurse of infectious disease, and asked her to check out the mapping. I left with a very low quality list of things that were on there. And off I go, and I just was in so much pain that I didn't do anything but Qigong for the next couple of weeks and try to eat and not kill myself. And meanwhile, I had observed this miracle of this plant, and I've left another video for you to give you that message. So I kept getting all these messages that were really supportive. One day, I went to this acupuncture appointment that makes a big difference, and it's a community acupuncture, and there's a lot of them that are out there right now for people that are homeless or in need. Anyway, on the way home, I thought, if this homeopathy angel that's come into my life, who's just been a mother and a family and so many beautiful things to me. Anyway, if she answers the phone right now on my way home, I will stop and run this stuff by her, because that's the person that came to my mind when I found out about these. And what were the chances of that? Not very high. So I called her and I said, hey, I'm on my way home from Roland Boulevard. If you can meet me right now, I'd be willing to meet you. And she goes, I'll meet you. Can you come to my house? I'm just a few exits away. I said, no, it's too hard for me to even try to write down directions or anything. So either you're going to meet me now, or I'll just do it a different time. And she said, meet me at Toast. So I went to Toast, and I showed her the charts. And she said, well, you know, the interesting part is all the pictures you're showing me of the body stuff with the ALS type symptoms. I happen to have ALS drops at home. I got them for a guy, and he died before I could get them to him. So what are the chances of that? And I said, this is like a B movie. And we went to her house. She said, I have all those cell salts at your house. Come on over. I said, I cannot get over there. And she poured me into her car, and she had to stop to get something to make the salts, I think distilled water or something like that. And she took me to her house, and we walk in, and she's got this cat, and I don't love other people's cats. I like my cats okay, and even sometimes they annoyed me, but they're really cute and furry, and I like that, but sometimes they really are annoying. And so I saw this cat, and I fell in love with it, and I go, what's your cat's name? She goes, Chi, and I went, oh my God, this is really becoming a B movie. And she said, no, it's an A movie. And she said, you know, I have this book, and I thought of you yesterday, and here's the book. It's called Biochemical Cell Salts. And she said, I have a brand new one, and I don't need it. So, and she had thought of that yesterday, not knowing that I was even trying to find out about these cell salts. And so she sent me home with that book and all the cell salts, and within, you know, a day, I was down from a 20 down to a 19 and a half. And anything better was shocking. I just did not even expect it at this stage. And so then I've still been having pain. She just came up with another homeopathy remedy for that. So the bottom line is that I haven't had to do any hardcore pharma, which leads to all kinds of behavioral problems, and I've already got enough behavioral problems with the outrageous outbursts, the frontal lobe compulsive eating that's really hindering my digestion anyway, and just all the other behavioral problems. The last thing I need to do is throw on some narcotics, like be putting, you know, fuel on a bonfire. And so these answers keep coming right when I'm ready to go. And I made peace with my maker. I've been ready to go since the beginning. And now I'm just playing around. I'm just like, the rest of this is just very entertaining. And I don't know what it's about or what it's for, but I think it's a revolutionary way of going through these diagnoses. And, you know, I was talking earlier about the doctors being burnt out, but also I want to acknowledge them because they do a lot of good work. I love my GP, and she accidentally overdosed me with iron when all this first started, and I still see her, I still love her, and I know she's doing the best she can. She couldn't keep track of, that I'm only 100 pounds and that I shouldn't have had that much iron. She couldn't do it. She gets 10 minutes to see all of us, and I know she's working her ass off. That is, by all means, all the doctors are working their asses off. They're overworked. Most doctors at Kaiser have 400 cases now. So if you think you can trust your doctor, you can to a certain degree, but you can't because they can't possibly keep track of everything. They can't keep track of your weight, let alone all your details. And you're the most important to you. So get copies of all of your tests, because my doctor just told me I had a normal neck x-ray, my neurologist, because I'm having all these tremors, and I was like, do you think it could be, my girlfriend that works at UCSF asked me to see if my neurologist thought it could be related to this canal stenosis that's in the back of my neck and the C1 through 5 that blew out and all of these issues that I'm having. He said that my neck x-ray was normal, and my neck x-ray is nothing but normal. And so these guys don't have time to even look at this stuff. So please just be your own advocate. Get someone to help you. I do have my girlfriend looking over my medical stuff, and I just can't recommend enough to have another pair of eyes, not just your own, but ask for guidance, ask for spirit, angels, energy, divine light, whatever you want to call it, but to ask for help and be surprised, happily surprised at what comes. And don't forget to love yourself, because if you love yourself, you can get through anything. And when I was at the gates of death a couple weeks ago, and I was just in so much pain I couldn't take it anymore, and I don't cry very easily, and tears would just pour down my face at night because it was just so bad I couldn't handle it. And I would just keep repeating, show me, I trust you. Show me, I trust you. And this bizarre B-movie story about the cell salts and the cat called Chi that I've fallen in love with, and now having this amazing relationship with Carol that it fills my heart in ways that I can't even explain. There's so many gifts, and I like to look at those rather than the losses, because I've lost Kelly a long time ago. But the important parts of Kelly I'm reclaiming, and it's possible. And if it's possible for me, it's possible for anyone. So I just really can't recommend more going into trust and faith and filling your mind up with new energies and new information. I'm passionately listening to all of the stuff with the Qigong. It occupies my mind, it heals my heart, and it's creating new neural pathways, and it's reorganizing all my cells. And here I am, year 4 or 5, I don't even know anymore. And today, I feel like there's so much hope, and I was hopeful even when there wasn't, but not hopeful to live. I'm not clinging to the body. I know that it's temporary, that everything here is not personal. Everything is here for me to grow who I want to be and to see what I'm made of in the face of all this shit, and to love myself when I'm not lovable, and to continually improve my connection with the highest part of me and develop things in the trenches, to go in super deep in the super ugly part of the psyche and the collective, and find happiness and joy and bliss there. That is my only goal, and that extends out to everyone. And apparently the people that I still talk to are blown away, and it's helpful. So I'm hoping that some of my advocacy gets people support that don't have big support groups, and breaks some of the stigma, and opens up conversation where people don't like to talk, like even about colonics. I would have never mentioned that a few years ago, but this is just human. It's just human, and we're all in this together, and the only way through it is to go through it with love and joy and say, bring it on, let's have it, whatever it is. And everything has an expiration date. So if my approach has been, it's the next big adventure, and it's the next big adventure, and we're all going to do it. So bring it on. Have a good day.